Here was my second take from Cardinals training camp. And that was this. I have been someone who's been skeptical of Marvin Harrison Jr., who I just mentioned a second ago. And I think part of that comes with the fact that right now I feel like I was right in saying you should go draft Joe Alt over Marvin Harrison Jr. And the reasoning why I say that is because the Cardinals could have had an opportunity to go get a blue chip left tackle while they already have the right tackle of the future in Paris Johnson Jr. And I was a little skeptical at the time, the fit of the right tackle position going to the left tackle position for Paris Johnson Jr. because he was so good at the alternative being the right tackle. But that was null and void when they moved him over to left tackle, and you're like, oh, he's really awesome there as well. So, although Marvin Harrison Jr., I feel like I was still right for now, and I want to be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, and I think I'm actually going to be wrong once you hear the rest of this take, is Joe Alt right now is the better player. And it would have been the better fit for the Cardinals because you can get wide receivers anywhere. And the one thing that I kept on saying last year at training camp, it feels validating to me because I have these takes. I can't bounce them off anyone. It's called the Ben Garcia Show because I'm the writer, producer, editor, social media content manager, script writer, and content manager. I do everything. So it's hard for me when I'm coming up with these takes to bounce them off someone and say, hey, does this sound crazy? Am I being weird here? But I continue to feel validated because I find myself seeing around corners. And with Marvin Harrison Jr., it's interesting because last year when I saw him at training camp, I saw the talent, the raw potential, and my standards were just higher for Marvin Harrison Jr. than they were for anyone else. Because I believe if you draft someone with the 4th overall pick, they need to be in the tier 1 echelon of wide receivers. But the one thing that I felt like Marvin Harrison Jr. lacked was this: confidence. That do-it-all, cocky mentality that MHJ lacked. He was someone that would go onto the field and not act like he owned it. It felt like he was in third gear and just coasting there, knowing he was still good. He was never a bust. He's not a bust. That's ridiculous for anyone to say he was. However, Marvin Harrison Jr., being the guy that can go up and get 50-50 balls and turn those into 70-30 balls, I'm starting to buy into it. And here's why. After Marvin Harrison Jr., or I guess I should say, Marvin Harrison Jr. is turning heads at camp. One-handed catches, back shoulder throws, him and Will Johnson are battling. And yeah, Will Johnson's got the best of him once or twice, but for the most part, from the highlights, Marvin Harrison Jr. is dominating not just Will Johnson, but everyone on the Cardinals secondary. And that makes you feel even more excited because the Cardinals got a top 10 secondary, top 8 secondary, top 7 secondary in the NFL. And he's just taking the ball away from guys. And I felt validated because the one thing that I felt like was missing from Marvin Harrison Jr.'s game, or I guess I should say, the one thing that was missing from Marvin Harrison Jr.'s game is the Terrell Owens, Chad Johnson, just bleep you, give me the ball, Steve Smith mentality, you can't cover me. It felt like Marvin Harrison Jr. last year was a little bit in a shell, a little too reserved, playing the Larry Fitzgerald, Marvin Harrison Sr. card of I'm just going to come out and ball. But I felt like he needed that instilled almost artificial confidence. And what did Kyler Murray say to the media the other day? They asked him, what is the biggest change to Marvin Harrison Jr. from year 1 to year 2 in your eyes? He didn't say, oh, he's really strong now. He didn't say crisper routes. He didn't say any of that. You know what he said? He said confidence. And I was like, ding, ding, ding. Right over here. This is what I've been talking about. I've seen a different Marvin Harrison Jr. at camp this year in year 2 than I did in year 1. He's turning into the bleep you, every ball is mine, Will Johnson, I'm going to sun you, Budda Baker, come here so I can dunk on you, wide receiver. He's mossing dudes. Every 5 seconds, you can't put your phone down because a new Marvin Harrison Jr. highlight just dropped. Now, it is up to Kyler Murray to get him the ball. And I believe Kyler Murray can do that. He just needs to be more consistent doing it. But if we're talking about a team that is led by Marvin Harrison Jr. offensively catching the football and not Trey McBride, who's still going to get his, you're talking about a 12-win, 13-win conference championship appearance football team. Marvin Harrison Jr., similar to Darius Robinson, who's going to make that defense go, is the key piece that is going to make this offense go. That's what Marv does. He is a superbly gifted athlete. He is going to bring in 1,450 yards, 10 touchdowns this year, launching him into the conversations of he's better than Malik Neighbors. He's better than Brian Thomas Jr. And what I've seen from him has been absolutely impeccable. The jump that we were hoping to see, the bleep you mentality from year 1 to year 2 is evident. And I was the only person last year who did not lie to you about Marvin Harrison Jr. I felt like Joe Alt should have been the pick. And to this point, I think I've been right. Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater, no one's getting past those two guys. However, there's a chance I might be wrong, and I'm rooting for it. There's no reason to root for Marvin Harrison Jr. to be bad. But if Marv is a bona fide number 1, tier 1 wide receiver like he was drafted to be, don't let anyone tell you otherwise, this Cardinals team is launching into superstardom over the next couple of years even. In this season, over the next couple of weeks, if Marv is that guy, you're going to talk about them being a Super Bowl hopeful but dangerous playoff team. And I don't lie to you. I was right on this. I've been right on a few things. Marv is showing that bleep you confidence that we needed to see. Here's one thing, though, that has concerned me in training camp. And I'm just going to take a couple of minutes on it. Then we'll end the show. We'll break. We'll all chew on it for a little bit. And then we'll spit it out together and see how we feel. Jonah Williams, the right tackle. This is also something I was right on. Go back, check the tweets. Check the takes on Fox Sports 910 when I was doing radio. Jonah Williams does not look good. And Jonah Williams never looked good. He was never a premier right tackle. With the Bengals, he was considered a bust. On that Alabama offensive line coming out of the draft, he was seen to being a really good right tackle. But I told everyone, ask yourself, if Jonah Williams was good on a struggling Bengals offensive line at 25 years old that I believe he was let into free agency, why would they just let the Cardinals scoop him up? But we all just push that to the side. We say, you don't know what you're talking about. Jonah Williams is going to be good. Clayton Adams, who was the offensive line coach before, knows what he's doing. The Cardinals are going to be great, and Jonah Williams is going to fit right in. And thank God they signed Kelvin Beachum last year because Jonah Williams went down, and when he didn't go down, he was not good. He was the weak link on the offensive line at the right tackle position, and that's not what you want to do when you have a quarterback in Kyler Murray who can miss some games. That's going to be a problem for the Cardinals. And I'm going to say it again. Thank God that they re-signed Kelvin Beachum, who's 36 years old. Older guy. But we're going to be talking about, I believe, in week 7, week 6, maybe even sooner. That Jonah Williams guy doesn't look great. He didn't look great in training camp last year. That was some of that scuttlebutt on the sidelines that I was talking about before. He didn't look great in preseason last year. I believe he played in 1 regular season game, maybe 2. I know he didn't look good in those games either. Kelvin Beachum comes in the fold and saves the position. So, all I'm saying is the Cardinals are going to have a right tackle problem. I'm not rooting for it. I don't want it to be the case. But you watch this show because sometimes I'll project things and it'll happen. Oftentimes I feel like it does. Jonah Williams has not looked good. He has not looked good. And the Cardinals need to be prepared for that on its own because I feel like they're going to be taken by surprise when they realize Jonah Williams is going to be the weak link on this offensive line. Maybe he's not awful, but I think he's going to clearly be, out of the 5 guys on that offensive line, the worst one. And thank God they re-signed Kelvin Beachum, because we're going to be talking about starting him at right tackle. And again, it goes back to the Joe Alt thing. If you just drafted Joe Alt, you wouldn't have this problem. You had Joe Alt at left tackle, Paris Johnson Jr. at right tackle, in a league where everyone needs 2 tackles now. So it's a little concerning. Jonah Williams, he has not looked good, sharp, versatile in any way. And I think we're going to be talking about that being the weak link on the offensive line. And with a quarterback in Kyler Murray, who has a history of missing games, you got to keep your right tackle spots up and standing and away from the quarterback. And when watching Jonah Williams, man, it's concerning.